Alright, welcome back everyone. I am trying a new list tonight that I have kind of been iterating with slash got the idea for. Namely, I had loaned out my side cub cats to, side cat cub to Romario, my good friend, and even before then, I was a little bit hesitant about the future of the card because it utilizes a landfall mechanic, which relies on Elvish Reclaimer and Wight of the Reliquary to turn it on. And if you have an untapped Wight of the Reliquary, you should probably be winning most of those games anyway. And then without those, since that forced me to think about how to build the deck. I was just trying different cards such as Web Strike Elite, Legacy's Green Archer, and then I tried Keen-Eyed Curator again, and then it dawned on me from a macro standpoint what, I believe this deck should be doing. Namely, I always felt like for we're coming up on almost a year, I think, since Modern Horizons 3. But basically since, I would say, I don't know, September-ish or so, maybe a little earlier, I kind of felt, has it been that long since Modern Horizons? Let me see, when did Modern Horizons 3 come out? Looks like June of last year. So coming up on a year anniversary. But I always felt like you could just resolve a Wight of the Reliquary or Natural Order, or I guess maybe not resolve a Wight of the Reliquary, but untap with it, and then you probably win the game. Taking that step, like between just iterating, not by accident, but by trial and error, right? I kind of came up with this flowchart. Now, I posted this or a draft of this on my Patreon already, the channel. But long story short, the idea is you try to resolve a Wight or Natural Order, but when you don't, what do you do? And this kind of goes through the deck building philosophy of what to do. And I'll close this for now, but long story short, I want the deck to be essentially a one card combo of many sorts. So right now, I think most people would agree Natural Order is a one card combo. Wight of the Reliquary, anybody who stared that down, a one card combo in many matchups if you can untap. So, hey Mike, how's it going? So it's half the mana of Natural Order, but easier to disrupt, right? Because it's a creature. You can plow it, you can fatal push it, you can bolt it if it's a 2/2 or 3/3. Easier to interact with, but half the mana. And there's some obvious other hates like Pithing Needle and whatnot. Sorry, Max. I apologize. This is not a Recross the Paths. Although I do own that card, as you may or may not be surprised by. Those kind of cards that for Doomsday, I do own. The pity is, or the shame is, I haven't updated my Doomsday deck. Paper-wise in forever. I don't even own Thassa's Oracle yet. My Doomsday build still would kill a Burning Wish, right? And ban Sensei's Divining Top. But ignoring that for a second, like, the issue that I foreshadow, okay, so there's two things, right, going on. I know a lot of the other green decks, ever since we did well with Cat, have adopted the Cat in their deck as well, including Maverick, including Depths. Now, that's like good and bad, right? It's cool that the Cat's getting recognition, but I think the more Legacy players play against Cat, the more they realize that card needs to be turned on by, Wight, which if you untap with this, you're probably winning anyway, so it's like win more in that situation. Reclaimer, which not win more, but because Reclaimer can't solo the game the way Wight can. But because this deck is almost like a tempo combo deck, if that makes sense. Like, it's like Reanimator or like Tempo Doomsday, you have an aggressive threat, but then you threaten the back end over the top combo with natural order too. And I kind of view it in that same light. Now, Keen-Eyed, a little bit, not a little bit, a lot more narrow than Wight of the Reliquary, but can do a nice impression against like the graveyard decks and whatnot. And in these colors at least, being green, you should be good against graveyard, and you should be good against artifact combo, hopefully. You're probably a little bit stopped to A plus B that doesn't go through the graveyard, but can't beat them all. And you're probably good against creature combo too because of Snuff Out. Hoping we were Doomsday into a green Planeswalker and Narc Pop. That would be cool. I mean, there is grist for that. Actually, there is the other one too. Tivar can do such things because you can mill, right? Like, milling is obviously, depending on who's doing the milling, good or bad for Doomsday, right? Alright, I'm not going to spend too long on this. If you have any questions, here are my socials. Oops, prepared right away. Here are my socials. But we'll see how it plays out. We only have a one-lander. It's a little bit scary, I guess. Take out the natural order. I'd probably just keep anyways, which is YOLO it, I guess. So a little bit dangerous. Also, as always, if you point out a misplay before I do, that's a giveaway 120 promo code. Play points promo code. Maybe this is a greedy keep, but one of the things that's really important about this deck is I built the deck to minimize mulligans because at the end of the day we are a okay, so what are we doing here? Do we double ramp? I feel like we double spell, right? The answer a Wight's pretty awful. Or do they daze, right? Like, who knows? It could be on days, I guess. So, sequencing, right? I lit off the green mana, not because it's more flexible. Well, that's one of the reasons, but also because if we get a spell daze, I'd rather get the Reclaimer daze because it grows white against a red deck potentially. And two, by threatening the white next turn, they kind of allow the Arbor to resolve. And the secret against these Cradle decks that for some reason 98% of Legacy players don't seem to know is you are supposed to force a turn 1 dork, and for some reason nobody does it. That's my little secret. But not even my secret. Like, I built my deck to handle that, but I know like the more combo oriented, if you want to call it that, like the Nadu Cradle decks, they have a hard time beating turn 1 force on their dork, like because they don't have mana for anything, right? All their spells are a bunch of mana. Quarter Calling, what is it called? Crater Huff. Spring Heart doesn't do anything if you have to like play land drops just to like cast it. So that's my little, not my secret. The secret that nobody seems to know about the deck. So the question here is like, we can jam natural order through, but they probably, are we just gonna force check them here? Yeah, I think so actually. Well, let's leave with white and see what they do. Then we can talent gates and whatnot. Okay, we guessed correctly and they forced the white. I think we try to bait it out again and see what they do. We don't beat sneak attack plus creature here, but I don't think we can afford to play around that. Maybe I'm supposed to just jam natural order there. Actually, I can't even, right? Because they forced the white. So I guess that was correct, right? Because it's that or get the cradle, and then I just rather have an untapped white. If they don't force, like, we're, pushing ahead. So the joke that I have in my stream title, Legacy Green Doomsday, I call it that because for those of you who play Doomsday, aka the people in our chat here, Mike and Max, you cast one spell and you win the game. So I call it Green Doomsday because you untap with a white, game's over. Same thing. You resolve a natural order, game's over. All right. I think we're going to do this. It's now or never. Actually, I messed up. I tapped wrong here. I was supposed to leave up black. I did that too quickly. In case I draw into Thoughtseize, or I can just cast my white. So that the 1 point of damage is not worth it. Hopefully we don't get punished as a result of that. Okay, there's the Thoughtseize. And then Once Upon a Time and probably the Safekeeper, if for some reason they have bounce. Sneak attack. I think we just take the sneak attack. They're gonna ring next turn. I think that's probably fine. This comes in tap unless I can control it. So 2, 3, 4, 5. They can sneak attack next turn. We phase it out. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe we just take the ring here. Put them on a 1-turn clock. Although, yeah, they can't do it all, I guess. If they ring, they can't. Well, let me think about that. Take the stock up. I guess there's a scenario where they ring draw. Like, are we even no to Behemoth? GG. Hey, Abiro84. I don't know what you're saying. Like, I don't even play Behemoth anymore. So I'm trying to think here. They sneak attack, they just die, right? Like, yeah, I think that's the case. I think they sneak attack, they just die, so. Okay. I guess I'll just address that since it's been brought up. I don't play Behemoth anymore. Well, I cut Behemoth when I tried out Cat because I just didn't think that you needed it. And the truth be told, it was probably should have been cut a long time ago. It's the worst card in the deck before because 9 out of 10 times you're going for Atraxa, and I don't think it's worth the 10 times you resolve natural or 10% of the time that you resolve natural, you go for Hoof. I don't think that's worth it because this is by far the priority target. Alright, so they're on sneak attack. We have like a million sideboard cards, so hopefully, and we even stole game 1. Safekeeper doesn't do anything. Bog. I think I even board out a forest. I need to pull up my sideboard guide because I don't remember. Here it is. Sneak and shows. Okay, the Keen-Eyed can come out. Web Strike, I think I left in because it can answer a cage potentially, but like it doesn't really do much else. Are we short cards or we have enough? I think we just have just enough. They're usually a Blood Moon deck, so maybe I want the second forest, but I feel like everything else is like pretty good. The weakest card, truth be told, is maybe the Collector Oof, but even then it has use. I bought out the forest because most of the time I'm gonna go try to go for Saga into Needle. Now it's a little bit dicier because they have Blood Moon, but potentially, I think this is okay. Wet Strike is probably the weakest card I left in. Alright, this is like solid. The mana is kind of shaky, but it has disruption into threat, so like that's my A plus B, right? It's a little awkward because I have to lead with C's and I want to go Arbor on 2. They might brainstorm a response or spell pierce. Nothing. Interesting. Why don't they just take the stock up then? They literally just kept a do nothing hand. The game might be over. The game might be over. Especially if we draw a dork next turn. It's insane that they kept a do nothing hand. They kept on top, which I wonder what it could be. I think in this situation, going with the Arbor doesn't do us any good, so I'm just gonna run out my Wight here. If they Fury me, so be it. That means they don't Fury the Arbor. Oh, they kept Force. Okay, I think they're just in a lot of trouble now. Right? Their hand doesn't do anything. They probably play this next, or I guess that's okay. They probably did it too quickly because Delta's in their hand, and I know what's in their hand now. Like I have full information. They have a Fury that I'm a little bit nervous about. Actually, I know the line. This is actually kind of funny. We don't want them to Fury or Arbor, but I'm gonna protect the Hierarch here, and we just have an Endotraxa now. I think it's really, really over now. This is being a pseudo Mother of Runes for the turn. Then we just play around their Fury that I don't know. Like, they kept a bad hand, in my opinion. Like, trying to rely on your stock up with no other action against a deck that cares about board presence is a recipe for disaster. Am I gonna respect days? I don't think so. Because I want to cast Thoughtseize right off this. We didn't draw it. Okay, Needle. I guess we take the Forest just in case they try to moon us. Once. Actually, we already have a Force, so I think I take the once here. Green Sun. Probably Reclaimer. Does that look right? Yeah, I think so. And we're gonna shut out the Needle for, I mean the Sneak Attack first. Don't tell me they boarded in Consign. That's horrendous. Actually, they wouldn't have because they would have stifled the trigger here. Sneak Attack. Alright, I just don't see how they win now. We have all the angles covered now. the fact that we didn't take force means that it's a little telegraph that we have it in our hand, but they would just play around it anyways if we took it. So I don't know how much, and we already have a copy of it. I don't know how much good it does. So our opponent here again with their sequencing, I don't know why they're not playing the lands that we know about. All right, what are we doing here? We don't have the, what is it called? Force Hardcast? Sure. That was also better too because we play around Flusterstorm or whatnot, and we get a. What we only probably only care about the. Do we care about Ring here? Maybe not. I think we just go with that. One turn clock. And then they can't Fury it too, right? Like otherwise they can just hardcast the Fury. Might have been correct just to get, since they're at 7 exactly, it might have been correct there just to get the collective and then force them. Alright, that was easy enough. One thing that I like about main deck Thoughtseize is the matchups that are otherwise hard for us, like a show and tell pre-board, is now very close to even now. Pre-board, because you just have 4 really high floor cards that can disrupt their spell. We are a little bit weaker against like a Reanimator because we have to spend mana, and then they are a Wasteland deck still. However, the rest of our deck is just really good against Reanimator. So if they don't have the nuts, they're probably losing to us game 1. So I'm willing to give up the percentage points against Reanimator and against Tempo because I just think they're not going to beat us. Like, I think our configuration, the rest of the deck is just so good against Tempo that I can eat the percentage points in those matchups and still win while shoring up all the harder matchups with Thoughtseize. Now, if things change, I can split it 2-2 just to make it more difficult to play around for my opponents too. That's another option. 4 lands. And we're on the play. I feel like this is like usually a painter player too. I try not to keep 4 land hands. I feel like we're gonna get punished. But if this was, this is tough. Yeah, let's just keep it. I don't like keeping 4 land hands, but like. This is not that bad if you consider this a 6. I feel like we're going to get punished, though, because we kept the 4-lander. At least the 3 cards are very good. Right? Reclaimer, Green Sun, Green Sun. Obviously, one of them is going to be a dork, but that's okay. I don't know if it matters that we're playing as a painter player. Our hands, like, generically... if one of these lands was some other spell, then it's like a fantastic hand. Ideally, our opponent just bolts our turn 1 play. Like, this hand is better against a Wasteland hand opponent, but... Again, I don't really want to mull. Does have a fail rate though, like I said. Typically, when I've kept these kind of hands, I've always been punished. If I was on the draw, I'd definitely mull because we're even higher chance to flood out, and we're not on ahead on tempo. Our opponent's not here. While we wait for them, I will post my socials again. I guess there was just only 2 above. Maybe they've walked away or something. So we're gonna hopefully top deck a Wild Reliquary here after we green sun for 1, and then certainly our hand gets a lot better, right? Alright, I'm like wondering what's going on the other side here. Maybe something came up IRL. Earlier I mentioned, actually it's fitting we had the Doomsday players here because there's a running joke in the Doomsday community that Doomsday is resolve resolve a 3-mana spell and win the game, right? And then they like to poke fun at the Knight of the Reliquary players because it's resolve a 3-mana spell and lose the game. To me, after watching or observing, you know, over the past few weeks, given that there's like if you want to call it the grindier version of this deck that's been doing well, but yet Maverick players don't want to play it. I have now come to the or Depths players don't want to play it. I have now come to the conclusion that winning is not their priority. I would guess that they're just busy. There's the play that we talked about. They want to turn on Grindstone though, so like, actually, I think I want to do pretty proactive. I have the setup right that I just talked about. If we get lucky and top deck Wight, which we did. You get Wight protected and the game's over. Like, how are they going to beat it? Good luck. Game might be over. 2-mana win. Dreadhorde reincarnate. Nice thing about Wight is we can just phase out their painter, right? They go for the kill. Obviously, they could have Needle. I don't know what their configurations look like at the moment, but sure. It would be very annoying if Needle is main deck. I don't know if it is. If it is, I mean, not like we can play around it. Maybe they just blast our Cradle right here. Okay, I guess we will allow that to resolve. Okay. Man, that's perfect here, I guess. Hey Everin, thank you for the raid. I am surprised you are playing here. I thought you have a wedding coming up. Unless I already passed and I just didn't know. Alright, we are... It's this... You gotta get your fix in, right, Everin? That's so funny. Actually, before I forget, congratulations to the both of you. Hopefully you're not too stressed out. It is really funny that I would think you're not playing right now, but you know, priorities, right? I think I saw on like some channel you had a wedding coming up like soon, and I didn't know it was this Saturday. But Saturday is a great day because your invites are not going to feel stressed to like go home because they have work the next day, unless they have work on Sunday, obviously. But I was banished from it. Okay, gotcha. So you didn't have your fix earlier, is what I'm hearing. So now you're getting it in. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a very stressful time for sure. All right, they must not. What is going on here? Do they not know the interaction? They're targeting me. I'm just gonna phase this out. Oh, unless they're just trying to do it twice, I guess. Ooh, that is one problem of not having the second Talon Gates. So if they do it twice and just call my bluff, I don't have two in the deck, I could be, DOB, right? But we'll see if they take that gamble. Otherwise, they just time walk themselves, right? I could have technically got Collector Oof with the Green Sun, but I think that's fine. Yeah, that might have been a mistake. Maybe I was too gung-ho about, resolving the Safekeeper, and I should have held that for a Collective in case they went for the combo. But I figured they're probably not going to go for the combo with the Active Wight, but maybe they just like know our list or something. LED. Ensnaring Bridge, okay. I might just be dead here because I didn't save it for the Collective. This would be the first time I got punished for that line, but live and learn. Live and learn. They probably do it on the upkeep. I mean, there's no rush, right? What are we doing here? They have an ensnaring bridge now that's like kind of annoying that they naturally drew. I guess we can get a lair. We're gonna leave the Wight up because to threaten the phase out, but I don't think it's gonna matter because they can just do it next turn again. We are probably just dead, like I said, because I did not save the... Actually, that's more of the story, right? Like, that's the moral of the story. Like, maybe I'm supposed to just have the protection. Are we drinking coffee at 10 p.m.? No, it's water. It's water. Alright, what am I doing here? I'm not that degenerate enough to drink water. Sorry, to drink coffee at that late stage. Can't attack. Only one thing can attack here, and I guess I'll just pass. Yeah, I threw this game because I like tunnel vision into my like game's over if you have a Wight plant. The problem is like, alright, we're just gonna concede. I forgot like so that's the thing, right? Like Wight is only good if they're not gonna combo you, which I guess we didn't respect enough, right? Like maybe I should have. That's live and learn. Alright, what are we doing now? This card is like iffy because it really only hits Saga. Like most of the time they don't expose their grindstone, but until they can like do something with it. So maybe not. Fairy's probably fine. Just some I don't even know if these decks have welder still. I think I saw it actually. Everything else actually no C's. That's bad. Keen-Eye's probably fine. We don't need additional graveyard because of that. Web Strike, given the way this maps here, let me see. What does my map say to do? It says it to board it out and bring in Needle. Do I want to do that? Yeah, maybe that's better. And then if I add another Needle, what's the cut? Maybe Fairy. Just like not respect their graveyard hate. Or sorry, the graveyard combo. Or components. It's kind of narrow. And we do have like incidental graveyard hate already. No, I don't like it. Like you reward them if they call Painter on black. Also, if they go like, it's reactive too. That so from a macro standpoint, I don't like Snuff Out because it's reactive, and I think we're the beatdown. I want to be proactive. Sure. Right, and then Force is the reason why Force is good is because it stops their combo, whereas whatever does not. Snuff Out. And we already have Needles anyways. I don't want to overboard. So I think that's actually one mistake people make with this deck. They overboard. So and it's good if you play somebody a lot of times too because you can mix and match because if they're always going to call blue or red with Painter, then maybe it's okay to bring in like 2 Snuff Outs because that's like 0 mana removal now, right? But like I said, from a macro standpoint, I don't love Snuff Out because it's reactive, right? It doesn't play into the macro game plan that I want. Alright, ooh. Alright. I got the setup again. I better not lose with it again this time. They didn't bolt the bird and they got punished. That's exactly what happened. People don't learn. Like, that's what I said. 98% of Legacy players don't know they're supposed to bolt the bird. Like, if they have bolted my arbor, like, they don't deal with this nonsense now. It just so happens we beat. yeah, in the abstract form. Like, they just got blown out because they just got greedy, right? Like, they want to kill our turn 2 play or whatever. Okay, now that's kind of interesting. Everything can attack here, so I think I will do that. Don't tell me they're playing Pyrokinesis. I don't think I want to attack with the Arbor. And hold up Hardcast Force. Plus Reclaimer activation. Ooh, punished. For not hitting the Opal there. Interesting. We're going to hold up Force. Given that they win for this play. It's just a nightmare. This card is a nightmare for spot removal. Game's probably over. I would have to imagine. Do we want to kill the bridge here or no? I guess might as well. Look at the layer, just put on more damage, right? That's like a million. $13 damage, I think. Alright, their tomb is off, which is relevant. And we have a bunch of protection. It's probably over. Yep. The old Supreme Verdict, right? Or Armageddon with my Force of Vigor. Hard cast. Did we miss the Web Strike? I don't want Saga because they could have Moon, right? And it's like kind of very slow gameplay. Do we miss Web Strike? Probably not. Actually, it does hit the artifact lands, which I forgot about. I think they play like 4 of that one thing. I guess it hits 4 Sagas too. Alright, maybe we do want it. The problem is like, what are we cutting? Everything else is like really good. Talon Gates, Lair. Needles. Do we want 2 needles? Maybe we could have Lair. It helped win that game, but we like. Oh, I hate cutting dorks. It's like I try to avoid it if I can. Maybe we just don't respect their combo. I hate that this is, again, a very reactive card. Hey, Jacob, how's it going? Alright, I'm like debating what's the last cut. Do we want 2 needles against them or not? Like, I bet you we're going to get comboed if we like go down that route. They feel like an all-in combo player. So what's the least? Let's cut the lair. Let's cut the lair. Was it good there? Yeah. Could we have won without it? Probably. Oh, okay. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, I forgot about to mention that. I will not be playing this weekend, but I have been tuning this deck for those who are interested in playing the Super Qual this weekend. That's the only thing that's been keeping me motivated as of late, because I can't play. Well, actually, it's funny. Everett, you're still in the chat. I will be attending a wedding on Saturday as well, so I will be keeping occupied with that, and because of that, I do hope that somebody will play the Cradle deck and do well with it. So, like I said, I hope to finalize a list probably tonight, to be honest, and then update the sideboard map for anybody who wants to play it. If you are still unsure about this deck, and as I've mentioned many times, hey Voodoo Games, if the Patreon cost is an issue, please message me and we can work something out. I've done arrangements for other people before who, they're a student. I understand, like, school is very expensive now, and we can work something out. If that's the holdup for why you're not playing this deck, keep. Obviously, I know Kai's Cradles, especially if you play paper, are very expensive as well. So, not to mention dual lands, right? I guess there's two of them here. All right, I'm glad I kept in the needles and the web strikes. Unfortunately, my hand is not great against their combo hand, especially since we saw LED. Actually, I should have fetched. Yeesh. Yeah, well, actually, I could not have. What am I saying? Let's go with that. And let's go with Reclaimer. If they bolted, they bolted. Like, so what? I feel like we're gonna get comboed out this game. Interesting. No. I don't want to get blown out by Fury, but then again, they probably needle the Reclaimer. Let's go for it. If they have Fury, then it is what it is. At least we grow the Reclaimer in this instance. If they Fury us. I mean, it does, yeah, we do have a pretty good Reanimator matchup. Don't do it, please. Red? No, black, okay. I think they're gonna go for the kill. In which case... Oh my god. Wait, how did they have so much mana? What am I missing here? It's three this way, so they had 2, 3, I guess 4 mana, and then a Spirit Guide. That's my fault, I guess. Alright, I guess I'm just dead because I'm like getting careless. Maybe I'm supposed to leave the... Yeah, I think that was a mistake. I think given that they went grindstone, I'm supposed to like assume they're all in a combo. I actually don't think we lose if I play correctly. All right, we're just dead because I like brain farted. Like it's very telegraphed that they don't have anything going on, right? And they passed priority without doing anything. So I should have assumed that they had a combo. So I don't know. I guess I like brain farted because I'm not paying attention. But that's okay. So Voodoo Games, what that's my fault. But I lost games 1 and 3 because I'm just like not focused, right? Voodoo Games, what's your account? I don't recall playing against the Voodoo Games. Let me get water while we wait. Oh, Unagi 79. Oh yeah, I think we just played yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. I don't remember. But yeah, I think we probably win. Well, game 1 is debatable who wins. That game would have played out differently. I think we definitely win game 3 here if I just not like. Speaking of Reanimator, if I just don't like brain fart, right? We're on the play with Wight against a Reanimator player, probably, I think. Well, actually, no, because... Actually, this is fine. YOLO this. I would probably keep this in the dark, by the way. 2 whites and a safekeeper is like a premium hand. Argument to be made, we're supposed to not lead with Bayou there. Because we're going to go turn 2 white under almost any circumstance. But I wanted to go Bayou there because I can go turn 2 Cradle. Seize? Sure. So again, I don't think I'm just like mold to Reclaimer, right? Because it's just I don't think that's like good practice. First of all, do they have force? I mean, if they have force, it's a no-brainer, right? They have no choice, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean that's why I kept it, right? So I'm gonna keep this against most players because it beats 2 pieces of 1 piece of interaction very cleanly. Now they have 2, but what else? What could possibly be left in their hand now? And we're not gonna play around 2 pieces of disruption. Like most decks in Legacy now are just like these all-in, only 1 disruption at most decks. The only thing I'm like kind of mad at myself is just throwing that game 3 against the Painter player because I just like didn't think it through, right? If they're not doing anything with their Saga mana and I just like too busy talking, I guess they're probably gonna go for the combo and then they, in theory, like this person plays nonsense like cards, so they could theoretically have Bowmasters. And I don't want to get punished by that for no reason. For 1 point of attack, I don't think it's worth it. Maybe that's ultra conservative, but this person, like I said, has just played kind of, in my opinion, unhinged list. Things like 3 brainstorms. kind of insane. Like they went seize, force into ring. That's kind of brutal. Oh, getting sloppy. Tunnel vision there, obviously. I don't think it mattered. Like we have another one. Like that's not why we're winning or losing. Oh, they're gonna reanimate our Traxa. Great. It is. That's what they usually play. Quite the hand from them. Wow. That's a hell of a curve though. That's beating I think most decks. Like seize into force into ring. Like I don't know what's there's not many decks that can beat that kind of curve. Oh, I didn't attack. What am I doing? No, I take that back. That was the first turn. So burn. Maybe they're losing to their own deck building now. We'll see. I doubt it though. I doubt it. But like I said, I do think I would have beat that painter player if I was just like and focused, right? I don't randomly tap out for no reason. Cause it's telegraphed too because my opponent didn't, use mana for the constructs. That also their hand, which like what are they doing? Like turn one grindstone, turn two do nothing. Like it's kind of obvious too. I should know. I just figured they wouldn't have enough mana to do everything. 5, but I think I underestimated because especially since the Saga can get mana too. So that's on me. But the good thing is like I don't really care about results in terms of like leagues. It's just to get practice, and I think like these videos seem to be helping the pilots on these decks. So if that's working out, then I think I'm happy. Or if you're somebody who wants to beat this deck and that you find this deck this video constructive, then I am also happy with that. So for those reanimator players per se, right? Like, if this can help you level up against Cradle, then I'm happy about that too. We gotta draw. Oh, actually, we can't even natural order for our tracks. I think we're just dead now. I don't see how we're beating the Shieldred. Given that natural order's dead, I guess Wight can kind of beat it, maybe, but maybe not after all this life gain. Yeah, so that's the other thing. We only have 1 Talons. So at some point they're going to just be out of range with all this life gain. This is where something like the cat would help, but again, I think in this kind of match I would rather have Curator anyways. We can't even concede because if we concede, that tells our opponent we can't beat a Shieldred on XYZ board state, so we can't give them that information. But then there's life equity too, right? Okay, I think we're just we'll get the life equity and just concede here for everybody's interest. I don't think we're beating this board state. Alright, I'm almost certain there. Well, actually, they beseech. What the heck is going on here? They're on Underground Sea with Seize, Force, Beseech, and Ring. Maybe some kind of storm? With Children, though? Oh, they've got to be some kind of, like, Echo deck, I would have to imagine. Now that I think about it. Hey, okay. I don't know what's going on there with that username, but glad you appreciate that. What am I doing here? Given they're a Beseech deck, I think it's safe to say they're probably on some kind of artifact, so Force seems good. Bowser, okay, sure. Oh, I see what you're okay. I was thinking SOL for some reason. I was like misparsing it. All right. What are we doing here? Web Strike Elite, probably not the matchup for it. Keen-Eye, also probably not the right matchup. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that tapping out for Keen-Eye is probably not great. Safekeeper, like maybe I don't know if it's relevant. They might even have Bowmasters. I don't know, but endurance. Like, what are the odds that they're gonna have like Gaia's will us? I would guess not high, but maybe we play it just in case. Actually, we can play one fairy. Oh yeah, needle. Okay, one of my I messed up. But I feel like ring is probably their only. I don't love this. I think I just keep though. It's got turn two with I guess fairy backup. I try to keep most hands because that makes me unpredictable, and people play scared when I just could keep anything. Like I always try to snap keep because it really puts second. It makes my opponent second guess a lot, like whether they should go for it, or they start playing around things that aren't there. And then a lot of times I have people who thought sees me too, and they must think, why did this person keep this hand? There's like nothing going on, or not nothing, but a slow hand going on. But it's for that reason, right? Sometimes they keep a Thoughtseize hand. Like I don't want to be predictable, especially when in the age of like googling lists and whatnot. There's the Thoughtseize that we talked about. That's another reason why I don't want to mulligan because what is it called? Against a discard deck. Our draws are all live though. Ugh, maybe not that one. That's true. They are. That's the third one they've cast against us. Admittedly, our hand is like kind of weak, but I felt like. Yeah, we can play. I mean, I'm sure people would love playing against me. I think we do it now. Cancel. Actually, that was a mistake. Actually, Attracts is useful in case I top deck a Force of Vigor, so maybe I should not have done that. Maybe I should not have done that. But yeah, again, I try not to mulligan to like specific cards because I just think people play scared when you do that, or they that's easy to beat. Sometimes you get punished, right? They just go for turn one, like because that's what their hand does. But aside from that, like I try to be unpredictable. I don't know how we're ahead 3 minutes on clock though. I guess the triggers earlier with the Shieldred and their what is it called? Ring. If I top deck natural at this point, I believe the get is Curator. Unfortunately, I think I boarded that out. So it would be Wight. The reason why it would be Curator at this point was because it's a one-shot kill. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. Show and tell. Okay, there's a show and tell that we waited for. Oh, I forgot that they like to do that. I should have just kept that Traxa in my hand. That is a misplay. Although they would have just discarded it. Alright, we're just dead now. We did not even know what their deck is doing. Like, that's what. It's hard for me to play against this kind of deck that is like almost like EDH, right? It's just like one of everything. We even boarded the forces. I guess we just didn't see any of our hate. Yeah. Alright, we're just dead, I guess. How could it have been different? I think the only thing I could have done differently was like force myself to keep a either Thoughtseize or Force of Vigor hand. Force of Vigor there, I'm not even sure does anything because they could just take our threat. Like I think the hand is actually reasonable. Right? You have a threat, you have one piece of interaction. We didn't know at the time because I forgot about show and tell, but Attrax is technically another threat. Yeah, actually, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. We didn't. The awkward part was they killed us game one without really revealing what they're on, or they're on like an EDH deck, right? Like all one ofs. Like we can't really play around that. All right, Sergio. We cannot keep this hand. What is with our hands right now? I don't think we can go to... I don't want to go to 5. I think it's that, but I could be wrong. Safekeeper is kind of nice because it makes more hands quote-unquote keepable. But this is like kind of definitely on the worse side. Okay, imagine now if this Keen-Eye were a cat, right? Suddenly this hand is even worse. Than it already is. At least you can high roll some opponents with the Curator, right? Especially when backed by Safekeeper. So we're just gonna try to slam that and see where that leads us. The question I ask myself here is, does ramping get us anywhere? And the answer would be no. So that's why I'm still going to slam the Curator. Because we're not guaranteed to cast Natural Order. The only thing it does do for us is it allows us to cast Curator and through days, I guess, and eat something. But then we can eat something anyways if we go Curator right now. Sure. I mean, I guess. They want to do that. That's fine. Just in case they have sorcery speed and just screwed up. Okay, that's kind of what I thought they could have. Ooh. So the question here is, cancel. All right. We either play the web strike in blocking mode. I think I actually like that, or play a Wight, which will draw out almost certainly a force. Or days, one or the other. It's got to be Wight, right? Like, it's just win target game. Like, let's throw the lines too defensive. We're gonna go for win target game here. As predicted, there's the force. The other thing is, like, if we play the web strategist as a blocker and they brainstorm and then actually they're not going to brainstorm. They would just like play blockers first before doing that. Like, the safekeepers are really annoying them. Maybe it was correct to just go. Yeah, actually, against a Tamio, maybe it was correct to just go. Dork into Wight. They forced the Wight, and we're in the same position, but we can cast Natural the following turn. That's the main difference. Actually, the key, that's a mistake. I think in this situation, it would have been correct to just ramp, right? We're playing against like some tempo-ish deck, and then we can take this Tamio off the board. Now it's potentially problematic. Ooh, maybe not. Cancel. I want to cast it. There's no creature. Maybe they forced this, I don't know. We can still, yeah, let's take the Tamio off the board here. Actually, it doesn't. I take that back. I'm just misplaying horribly. My apologies. Just misplaying horribly. Ooh. Okay, I did not foresee that coming. Okay, I just tapped out for no reason. Yeah, it does, but I like played horrendously this game. Absolutely horrendously. Alright, they're gonna waste me too. I'm just not playing well tonight. Like, I messed up so many instances, but the saving grace is I messed up so that you don't need to. Now we're just dead. Alright, let's try not to throw like 7 different ways this game. Oh, actually, it was all part of the plan. We did that on purpose so we can see how much margin we have in this matchup. Boom. We did that on purpose so we can see how much margin we have in this matchup. At so many points, I think I just like win, but I just like made the wrong play. Starting with not ramping against like any Wasteland Days deck, I think that's just always right. And especially since they have a Tameo, the thing is going to be on blocking duties anyways. And so we already had a threat with the Curator out. So I just like butchered that for no reason. And then the turn where like I miscounted, I thought I was taking the Tameo off the board. I'm supposed to cast Natural Order there. For some reason I just did not anticipate my opponent was playing Reanimator. I just don't think... I guess you get people, right? Because they think you're on like a tempo deck. But then like sometimes you draw the wrong half of your deck and then just like does nothing. Which is why I actually think this deck is like a better version if you're trying to do that, because all the parts are moving in the same direction. Like the Reanimator portion of that deck is not moving in the same portion as the tempo cards. Like Psychic Frog does that very well. But, excuse me, like it's a 2-card combo, and then if you draw your tempo element, sometimes it just doesn't do anything. I think it's like turn 1 Arbor, turn 2 Wight is the play. That loss is on me. As I've said many times this night already. Oh, if we lose to a 61 Truther, what are we going to do? I will be forever shamed. Hey, Answer Key Gaming, how's it going? I've like punted, I think, every round. Actually, that's not true. They're gonna waste us, I think. Sure. Only 1 tonight. It's not bad. I think we are priced into basic here. And then the talent gates can filter on the... Sorry, we can filter the talent gates for like a Cradle or something next turn, or Bayou. Ooh, snuff out. Okay. Spicy. Do we want to lose the days or do we want to dodge Bowmasters? I think we don't. Well, we lose. Let's see. If they daze, I'm gonna feel bad. Yes, thank you. But we're gonna play around Bowmasters there. They feel like a Bowmasters player. Daze is only actually some people board out Daze against us. As crazy that sounds too. The other thing is they are more likely to have removal than they are what's it called, Daze. So it's a percentage game too. Ah, all right. I think we're gonna try to stick a threat here. Punished, sort of. The thing is, if we did not top deck the land, I don't want to just do nothing. So I made the safe play, I guess, of casting Endurance. I don't want to just do nothing on my turn and just waste mana. We had the Soul Read, though, that they had Bowmasters. I think despite all of our misplays tonight, I feel good about the deck. Like, I feel like we could have won every match if we just, like... Well, maybe not true. That's not entirely true. Yeah, actually, I think we would have lost game 1 against Joel, but we would have won game 2 for sure if we just made like 3 misplays. We can only handle so much poor play, right, on my behalf. But again, I'm not. My philosophy is I'm not results oriented. I'm process oriented, but at the end of the day, you still have to get results after your process, if that makes sense. I think this is easy. This is a must force. I think the game is probably over, if I'm being like quite honest. I don't see how they're beating our hand. There's no really need to attack until we untap. Like, we don't want to like lose to a tempo plan like out of nowhere. We have this beefy Endurance that is doing work. Do we care? I feel like we probably don't. I don't think we care. Don't think we care about that silly Harbinger. Sure. question here is, they have removal. How do we answer the Tamio? Like, that's like one way I guess we can lose. I don't think we want to pitch anything. We just pass. It's fine. I think the safe play here actually is attack with Wight, see what they do. Actually, we can just attack with both. I don't like. What are we afraid of? I don't think anything. Like, if they want to spend mana to like kill our web strike elites, so be it. Like, they're under a lot of pressure. Sure. Very interesting. Some odd plays from our opponent here. Alright, that changes my math. I do not have second moderator. I build the deck with essentially 0 training wheels. So only 1. Because I value the most stable mana base. I think here, given they didn't do anything, it's just like a second Wight as a threat. I think the game is probably already over, like I mentioned a couple turns ago. We untap with Wight, and I just don't see how they're beating us fair. Like, given we have Endurance backup for their combo. And unless I brain fart like I did in the other matches, I don't think I'm going to throw another match away, or a game away, given that we're like a million miles ahead. Yeah, let's try not to throw more games away, like we have tonight already. The good thing is, it's easy to deduce where the the misplays are too, because I'm like thinking out loud, which hurts my gameplay a little bit, but I think is a net plus overall, because I learn and anybody who's watching me learn, whether that be with the Cradle deck or against it. So I think it's a net overall gain from me thinking out loud, even if it can cost me in the near term. Reanimate my noble hierarch. I don't think I care. I don't think I care. Murktide Regent? I also don't think I care. Go for it. Be my guest. Six, sure. Don't think I care. The funny thing here is the web strike is a combat trick. We're gonna bombs away still. We can technically even attack. I don't think I love that though. Oh, actually, we have the sick play that we can make. I'll see if anybody spots the play that we can make. If they block. Actually, oh no, okay. We don't want to draw into the arbor on accident. Actually, I should have pitched the endurance. What am I doing? We can pitch the endurance too, technically. This is kind of sick. They're probably like, what the hell is going on here? This is what I mean, like, impossible to play around with one of. Just all random blowouts, like, here and there. I mean, we could have done it with endurance too, but this gives us protection against some reanimation nonsense. Sure. They entomb and do nothing? Oh, they can cast another Murktide. I see. I see. Okay. Too bad it is not going to work. Yep. Silly card. Three mana, do nothing on their end. This is also why I cut the basic swamp. You can just play through it. Like our deck is built in a way that is not impossible, but very difficult to hate out. Like, really the only way to hate out our deck, in my opinion, aside from getting comboed, obviously, is Dark Ritual Opposition Agent. Like, that is the way to hate us out, if you really want to do it. Like, four agents main for that, maybe like 4 Voidwalkers or something. Backed by discard. Cursed Totem's a good one too. Although I have played through it multiple times, just because this card has vigilance and is like a huge threat. I don't love it, but it's gonna have to play. Maybe this is a mole. I don't know. Turn 1 Swamp Pass. I mean, that means I'm locked into Thoughtseize main. Turn 1. Probably need backup too. Let me see what I see out the Once Upon a Time. Do I take the shirt? I feel like I have to. Like, I don't want to just like lose randomly. Okay, take their Voidwalker. And then I have the counter spell for it already. Perfect. They're dead. I'm gonna call out, the game's over. Like a bunch of lands and do nothing. Called shot, game's over. Ponder. Ooh, Brainstorm. Okay, they're in it now. We need to stop drawing lands, though. Luckily, we have the land fixer here. It's interesting that they went for the Anime Dead, even though they know we have the Fairy. I guess, like, probably gonna waste us there. That's fine. They brainstorm, so I'm probably gonna pass. attack here. I don't want to tap out for no reason, lose to their combo. It feels to me like they boarded into their fair plan, which they're not going to beat us. If they did that. If it's Bargoyf here, we might be in trouble though. Nope. Okay, we faded a Bargoyf. We're gonna change. We're gonna, rotate this cradle out, like create our own brainstorm with our reclaimer. Probably I would guess for a lair, but it decline. Actually, I wonder if it's better to. Maybe the play here is the once upon a time. Endurance. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Another endurance. As DJ Khaled would say, another one. Ooh. Okay. I kind of feel like we stick the Web Strike Elite. And hold up endurance. Yeah, I think I want a threat. Pass. I'm gonna get the lair. They must have not seen it. Sure. I don't think we care. It's a 4-5 at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do they have anything? So I'll just pass. So there's no reason to do anything right now. So the funny thing here is, like, if we endurance ourselves, then this thing is a lot smaller. It'll be a 0, 1, 1, 2. And then maybe we just start attacking. Everybody get in there. So I'm glad you caught my joke, Jacob. That's exactly what I was going for. I'm so happy you caught my joke. That was exactly what I was going for. I played Patron Warrior a while ago. Do I want to just kill that right now and shields down? I think so, actually. Playing for the win here. My opponent just typed, what an annoying deck. I'm sorry. Look away, Reanimator players. Alright, I think the game's over. We're just gonna come in for like a million, right? Shield's already down anyways. And as Jacob mentioned, this bog is gonna be good. Oops. Alright, we got toned for our, misplays earlier. Alright, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. That was fun, I guess. Highlight of my night. Jacob getting my patron warrior joke. My week is set. Thank you, Jacob. That brings up good memories. Patron warrior. For those who don't know, it's a Hearthstone reference. I used to play a lot of Hearthstone. My highlight was actually hitting top red legend with Murloc aggro, and completely turning the Hearthstone metagame upside down with that deck, because at that point Paladin was considered unplayable, and I just remember seeing in these Reddit threads like, there's this one aggro Murloc climbing up the ranks right now on ladder, and then it was highlighted too because when I hit top 10 at that point, there's a video online. You can probably look it up for those of you who are curious. I make a statement. Oh, I just hit top 10, and then my wife is in the video, and then there was a save where I said, "Oh, this is my best. Instead of saying this is the best day ever, I said my wedding day was the best day ever." So, kind of flashback, a couple years. It's almost 10 years now. Actually, 9. Coming up on 9. All right. Ironic enough, I think I'm just gonna YOLO keep this. My opponent just said, "Hi, here we go again." The reference is I just played against him like a couple times this week already. You can go turn 2 Wight, turn 3 natural orders. I mean, it could do a lot worse than that. You could do a lot worse. Is this match 5? Alright, I'm getting tired anyways. I don't know what they were playing last time. Maybe they were on Painter, I don't recall. I feel like I did not play them on Painter, though. Oh, there's the Painter. Alright, can we atone for our loss earlier? My hope is yes, but we shall see. Did they just hold priority? What is going on? I better play it safe and get... Like, I have the Reclaimer out already. I better just get Oof and just, like, not mess around. Because they have already one half of the combo. I just don't want to, like, die randomly. While worse, Reclaimer's good enough where I just don't want to mess around, right? Like... And just, like, lose for no reason. Okay. I'm glad I didn't go for Reclaimer then. They're probably holding out Red Blast. Based on their play pattern right now, turn 3 do nothing. Alright, like, I kind of feel like I have to run into it, but it's gonna feel real bad. although they can red blast the oof, so if anything, they would probably go after the oof. And they're not going to blast our natural order, presumably. I know we have C's in our deck. Curator's not going to do anything. Yeah, I could no for Safekeeper. The problem with that is like, we're playing not to lose, but maybe that's good enough against their hand. Let's do this. Maybe they kill the oof in response. I don't know. Are we winning this game? I guess. Okay, they blasted the natural order. That's yeah, fair. I think that was correct though. Like, if I think they have to stop the natural order in case we get a safekeeper. And then now we just hope they don't kill us this turn, right? Through oof somehow. Sure. The good thing is this curator is gonna grow really quickly. Let's dig. It's gotta be the hierarch, I think. To pump it. Target the RB. We shouldn't have played the land. I'm not sure it matters. We gave them information when we didn't need to. If we slow down and sequence that correctly. Like, we should have eaten the thing. I guess in theory they could bolt a curator and then we just have extra mana up here. So that is what, like, one benefit. Oh, for sure, yeah. So I was just getting to that, Jacob, but you and I are saying the same thing. Like, I was just saying, I guess because I was stopping myself in the middle of that sentence. Ooh, they, interestingly enough, are doing that. I guess I just phase it out. Like, it's. Oops. Let's do this. Like, they have two servants, so it doesn't matter anymore. And then we have a clock next turn. The good thing is, like, outside of something like blast into combo, they must not have it in their hand because they're using the blast on our threats. Here, Curator is significantly better than Cub, so I'm already happy with that decision by us, right? The Welder's not going to be good because we have the Curator out. Now, obviously, they could have another Blast, but they're just down a card already from using it earlier. They blast our natural orb, but I don't think that's. I think that's fine. We have enough mana, and I don't feel like we're behind on tempo or anything. We lost a dork, but so what? The way the deck is built, natural order is somewhat free. Like you're always pitching a dork, and you generally always have mana. Well, when I say free, I mean no different than, say, sure, I guess. I don't think there's any way we could have played around that. Ooh, there's the grindstone. This has haste? Ooh. I was not expecting that. Do we care? I don't think so. I don't know why they attacked. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, yeah. I always forget, like, what an Earth does. It, like, exiles at the end of turn or something like that, right? Yeah. Sure. So if our opponent has another removal spell, we lose, but this Curator is going to get in for a lot of damage now. I guess we might as well Thoughtseize them, see what they have. I guess I just take the Fable. They have to block. That's not enough. If they do that, they lose. They have to block with Servant too. Yep, there it is. What do we care about? Fable, I guess. Sure. Yeah. Everybody get in there again. Trample with Exalted is very good. I like that. Trample with Exalted. I already forgot how I boarded. I don't think we want the fairy. It feels like we just gotta shut down the combo. Like that, it feels like these painter players just want to combo us now. And if that's the case, I just would love to run one guy's blessing. If that's the case, I would just love to run one guy's blessing. If that's the angle they're going for. Did we board this out last turn? Emrakul show and tell value. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. I have recycled my guy's blessing a few times, and you can pitch the force of vigor, but that's fair for sure. And especially show and tell was on the uptrend before. Question here is what are we boarding out? I already forgot what we did last time. Oh, lair. Probably not getting to their dorks. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it seems like these painter players are just trying to combo us. But I think the matchup is favorable for us. I would say it is 0%. I don't remember the last time I hit 15 man, Jacob. I think the most I've hit that I can remember recently, within the last few months, is maybe 12 or something. I don't think I've gone to 15. My experience is they always play around the endurance, but and if I rather have endurance, I think I'd rather have fairy. But for their welder lines, I don't know. I could be wrong. They always have the opposite of how I board. So there's that, right? They've turned to furnace, and I wonder if we do the. How punished are we gonna be? How punished are we gonna be if we lead with Dork here? I'm taking a threat. I feel like we take the web strike, maybe. What are the odds that they have engineer? How greedy do I want to be? We're gonna be very greedy. Just not respect this. I just don't think it's a winning play. We're trying to win, not to play scared. They have to have two pieces, right? They have to have acceleration plus the engineer. We're gonna dare them to have it. And even if they do, we can needle it next turn. Well, I guess it'll be too late if they have engineer, but we'll see. Okay. Interesting. Okay, they're gonna hold a red blast. It's very strange. I might be tempted to board and snuff out the way they're playing. Yeah, that definitely we lose the game, I think, because they can just hit the needle right on the way out. Ooh, that is interesting. I think now we probably have to needle the welder. Probably just the, what is it called? Probably. There's probably no way to play around Fury here. I think here we'll probably just name, it feels like they're leaving a blast. I feel like grinds, well, okay. They welder here. The Force of Vigor is probably useless later on. I think it has to be a welder. Possible. Entirely possible. If they have it, they have it. Like, the White's actually the correct play because if they wait on our upkeep to play around Force of Vigor, that doesn't play around White. So actually, by playing the White here and playing the Needle, okay. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that, right? We have to force out if they have the Fury, they have the Fury. Like, what can you do? I think we have to name the welder because, like, that means we can't kill the painter later on. Hopefully that makes sense. Well, I guess we know what Force is going to be pitching. Our hand was kind of below average, but we might still be fine. I don't know how relevant this Needle is right now. Alright, Reclaimer's online. That's good. I think we just pass now. I think they definitely have... They're keeping it Blast for some odd reason. Because why would they name Blue? And there's a good chance they have it in their hand. But the way they've been playing... There's no way they attack now. We filter this for... we can actually... We're not that far off from casting a Trax, actually. So I'm going to leave that option available because it's not far off, like I said. If they want to blast our land, so be it. Actually, they would probably just blast the... Oh, it's a little awkward because I can't cycle the thing and cast White at the same time. So I have to just cast this, I guess. That's true. Yeah, it definitely feels like they're holding a Blast the way they've been playing. Sure. If they blast the White, is there anything I can do about that? I don't think so. I don't even know what untimely malfunction is. That's how degenerate I am. So if I cycle now, kill the painter servant, they're gonna blast in response, target the white, and then in response to that, I'm gonna force. The hard part is I don't want to waste the force, so that's okay. I can start attacking, I guess. Just attack. Like we have like all kinds of defense up now. Just on the control game plan now. They're gonna chump block probably, or they should. We're just gonna shields up the rest of the game. Like I feel like a blue deck right now just holding like 5 stacks of permission now. There's no need to really rush. Ooh, that is pretty good. Now, is there any reason to do anything? I don't think so. Wow, okay. That's quite good as well. I don't think we can hardcast Atraxa right now without playing into Blast. So I'm going to do that. Attack with Wight and pass. We can do it next turn, and that should be game. That should force out their Blast, because they've been holding it all game. It's like, to me, when you are playing like that, it's easy to pick you apart. Assuming the opponent, or in this case me, has any experience playing against control before, like just holding your one interaction all game, you're gonna get picked apart, which is what's gonna happen right now on their turn. So we're gonna cycle this Cauldron. Do we care? I don't think so. Sure, whatever. So the interesting thing here is I kind of want to filter this for more mana, because I already know next turn I'm already committed to Atraxa's coming down next turn, and they want to blast right now. I'm forcing them. Yep. My opponent said they drew poorly against me, and I just told them my hand is stacked. Webster Elite doing work. I don't know if you're making a joke or not, Jacob, but that's yeah, it can technically. Do I care? Maybe I just want to attack. They have to block anyways. All right, that was easy. Like again, my opponent was just, it was very telegraphed. As long as you just like don't rush, you just think about it, you pick them apart. That I enjoy that game the most because I think that it's probably one of the more educational matchups. No problem, Jacob. Thanks for boosting my ego with that getting that patron warrior joke right. Everybody get in here. Uh, Definitely the highlight of my night. But yeah, I think that fifth match there was kind of indicative of how in Legacy you can't just sit back. The decks are just too good now to just pick you apart. All right, anybody have any questions? I know we threw some matches here, but like, and we even threw the game one here against Sergio. But I think the deck feels really good. Unclear if really Web Strike should be in the slot. I think Curator definitely show why it's quite good. And why I think is actually an upgrade over the Cub, which it's definitely the more fun card, but I think as these other decks are starting to adopt it, your opponents hopefully, well, we don't know for sure, are probably going to know how to attack, the angle, attack you, right? Like, again, I mention this all the time, or not all the time, but on my streams. Not nearly enough of Legacy players force turn one Dork, and they would win so many more games if they did so. Like, but for some reason, both the bird applies, but force the bird doesn't. So that's neither here nor there. Like, I think on our deck is built to beat that for what it's worth too. So it's probably frustrating on their end because they force the bird and they lose anyways because while the Reliquary is a 6/6 now or whatever. I think they are more likely to win if they do that play, especially against other green decks which are not built to handle getting forced on turn one. But even against us, I think that is their best play. That said, I like the configuration. I think the only iffy slot was the Web Strike Elite, and it did something there against Painter. It like has like situational uses in these fair artifact based matchups, where it's a little bit slower but can give you value. Uncounterable too, which is pretty neat. Beats Red Blast there. Sideboard, I think I'm fine with 3 forces, just a bunch of free spells. Right? The sideboard is pretty much the Saga package and 12 free spells. All right. Anybody have any questions for me? And shout out to Everett for the raid earlier. I think the deck feels very powerful, and if not for me, probably could have been a 5-0. I threw like a bunch of games. I think I threw 2 games against Bob, 1 against Joe, and then 1 against Sergio. So 4 games on the night. Just not a good look for me. I think Jacob already signed off. It's too bad. All right. I'll give the audience, let's just say 2 minutes to post your favorite thing from tonight, and based on your answer, or not favorite thing. It could be the opposite. What I can improve on. I'll give out one promo code for 120 play points. So let's do that. I was going to give it to Jacob for his contributions, but I can give that offline to him too. Since if he's still on, he's going to get it. But otherwise, whoever is staying here late, promo code. Maybe you don't need the promo codes too, right? If you just win all the time. Oops. All right. Just started now. If nobody posts, then nobody gets the promo code. Well, actually, I can just message Jacob too. I do have his thing on. He's not here. Interesting. I thought I had him on Discord. Oh, here it is. I was looking by the wrong name. All right, I just messaged Jacob. All right. Since there were no volunteers for chat, I guess I will call it. All right. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Here's the list again. I know we only 3-2 tonight, but had I not punted so many games, maybe we'd have gone at least minimum 4-1, if not 5-0. But I think as of right now, I don't think I would change anything from the list. It felt very good at the third Force of Vigor, just as protection, right? All right. What shall we do? Let's stop recording.